Hello, this is Harry Paden. This is another episode of the Paden Perspective. This is episode 22, and I'm on my second season. Today's episode, I feel it's very important. I don't even feel it, I gotta be honest. It's a very important subject. Sometimes there's opinions and there's different things that I may give as my subject, and people don't always have to agree. This is why the beauty of the country that we're in. But I give it as my perspective, and that's why it's the Paden perspective. But today, I can actually say that only a fool would think some of the things that I'm going to talk about is not relevant, particularly if you're a homeowner. Just a little background. I worked 20 plus years as a housing inspector under various capacities. I worked for a municipality. I finished my career working for the Department of Housing and Urban Development, commonly known as HUD, as a HUD housing inspector, but actually I rose to the rank of inspection supervisor. I was in charge of the inspection department. Didn't always like it because, responsibility, but it was a great career. I love the people I worked around. I love the people that I dealt with. I love the career. I still do a little inspections here and there. I'm retired. I retired June the 1st, 2018, and I love retirement. But I do have a company that I do things under. One of those things I do things under is inspections, and I love it. I love it. I choose the time, I choose the hours, and I don't work very much. I don't work very hard, but when I do work, it pays off. The company, HPINC, that's the name of the company. The HP stands for Harry. Whoa, that's my mouse. The HP stands for Harry Paden. The INC is incorporation, but I'm not incorporated. The company is not incorporated. Harry Paden is the incorporation, HPINC, all caps. There is another HPINC that one day I will surpass. I will. HPINC, the regular way is Hewlett Packard, but I'm gunning for them, where when you Google HPINC, you'll come up with my name, and you do, but Hewlett Packard is on top. Coming for you, Hewlett Packard. But as an inspector, I've gained certain knowledge, and it's there are some things that when we did inspections, we kind of put in categories. Safety. That's, so I don't have to explain that your house is safe, free of danger to you, your family, neighbors, your children, others. The other is sanitary. Sanitary, you just want your house to be sanitary, decent. You see the episodes on TV about people with 1,000 cats or dogs, and they let them do their business all over the house. It's not sanitary. It leads to bugs, leads to rodents, leads to diseases. So safety, sanitary, and the third one is subjective, decent. Your house should be decent. Now that one, again, is subjective. My decent may not be your decent, but here's how we monitor that. If a person, you come in their house and their clothes are all over the place, you just make sure that it's not a tripping hazard. If it's all over the couch, all over the futon, all over something else, but it's not on the floor and it doesn't trip you up, it's okay. It's decent because it doesn't present a tripping hazard. But today's subject is fire safety. I cringe when I hear about a fire every single time, and you hear about them daily, because I wonder if they knew what I knew, could that fire have been prevented? So I'm going to give you the opportunity to learn what I know. I've never in my life been involved in a fire as a participant. As an inspector, of course, I go to the aftermath of fires. But that's not pretty. It's not pretty. Okay, let me start with just a little history. I may have to take these off because these are not for reading. But history, this is true history, tells us that one of the largest U.S. fires happened in the 19th century, and that was the Chicago Fire of 1871. This fire burned from October 8th until early Tuesday, October 10th. The 8th, the 9th, the 10th. 3 days. The fire destroyed an area about 4 miles and over 2,000 acres. Nowadays we have fires like that in California, but this fire was not involved with the nature. This was just a general fire. This fire left 300 people dead and 300 people dead and 500,000 people homeless. The fact that most of the city's buildings were made of wood helped fuel the fire. Many of today's fire standards are a direct result of that fire and the devastation and loss of property and loss of lives that were caused. Even today, fire continues to be a danger to people and properties, not only in the United States, but across the world. So now I'm going to give you some fire safety tips that may help you and your loved ones, prevent a fire. Number one, the number one thing that prevents things that could be disastrous, the number one thing that prevents it would be working smoke alarms. They cut the risk of dying in a fire by 1/2. These smoke detectors should be checked, I recommend, at least once a week. And the battery should be changed at least, this is the least it should be changed, twice a year, and it should be done during the time that we are yesterday, daylight savings time. So, you should change those. If you hear a beeping, that beep, beep, that's built into most smoke detectors to let you know you need to change the battery. Don't wait. Besides it being an annoying noise, that's telling you that thing that's protecting you, your family, and your home, the batteries need to be changed. Stop what you're doing, change that battery. Please. Smoke alarms should be installed at every level. I don't care if you got 15 levels, if you Jay-Z and you got houses and levels, every level of your house should have a smoke detector installed. That includes your basements, that includes your attic, that includes your crawl spaces, and I highly recommend a smoke detector outside of every bedroom. Again, if you have 50 bedrooms, a smoke detector outside of every bedroom. Now you say why? Because the majority of fires that happen when people are asleep. And the fire will burn and burn and burn. So either you feel the heat, you smell the smoke, or you start coughing from the area being smoke filled. That's too late. The smoke detector, yeah, The smoke detector goes off when you burn stuff on the stove. That's his job. Don't get annoyed at the smoke detector. Learn to cook. My friend Chef Jesse, he'll teach you. Chef Roscoe, they'll teach you. It's a joke, but I'm serious. Don't turn the smoke detector off because you're burning your food. Come on now. But the main purpose of the smoke detector is to alert you, let you know that there is something wrong. Now, if it goes off prematurely and there's nothing wrong, replace it. That's so simple. I've had people, I've come into their house, and I'll try to work the smoke detector and it doesn't work. So when the last time you checked it, he can't tell me. Really, I cringe, but I gotta be courteous, gotta be nice. Can't say, you a dump. Ooh. So I might have lost my job. But oh my goodness, that's your, but here's what they'll say. I'll call the landlord and let him or her know. What? Lord have mercy. Again, I take my job seriously. You should take protection of your home as seriously as I take trying to protect your home. It makes me boil. I tell, my family members that this is the single most important item in your house. Forget all the fancy lamps, forget all the fancy furnishing, forget all the stuff you got that you bought that are around your home. All that stuff is fire fuel if you don't protect it from fire. So smoke develops gases, smoke, it destroys things. So it's very important that you don't put your smoke detector too close to the kitchen. That kind of is a common sense thing. Put it close enough so if there is a fire in the kitchen, you know it. You want to know it, but don't put it when you're burning your bacon or whatever you're cooking. Now my smoke detector is right outside my kitchen. There is one, and it goes off. I take it down. I leave it right on the stool, and I almost got to stumble over it. So once that burning stops and you hush it in the smoke detector, you put it back up. You don't forget to put it back up. Okay. Now, every year, about 80% of all fire deaths are the result of residential, where people live. Of these fire deaths, most are from smoke and poisonous gas. People don't burn to death as much as they die from the smoke and the poison gases caused by it. Most times, the smoke is more dangerous than the fire. Smoke or gases inhaled by someone who is sleeping might cause the person not to even wake up. Again, that's why you put one outside of every one of your bedrooms. And please, put those up. You should develop, very important, we should do it in school. They call them fire drills. In your home, you should have regular fire drills, at least once a month, at least. What do you do if there's a fire? The getting low under the fire, the crawling, the knowing where the exit doors, windows are. Never, 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 never. I know people who live in dangerous areas and got, those bars all over the windows, but what about a fire? I'm going to houses where there are every window have bars. There are bars now that you can buy that have a flip thing where you can flip it, because I know you have to protect your home, of course, but you can't have it locked, so not only can't people get in, but you can't get out. It's crazy. And again, as an inspector, I'm going to write a book. I've seen some dangerous stuff. Every one of the windows guarded. You can't get out. Well, guess what? In the fire, you are in trouble. I almost said something. But y'all know what I mean. So make sure you have an escape plan. Practice it, particularly with the kids. One of the other things, in a fire, many people get killed because you can't account for someone. Where's Harry? Where's Harry? Where's my dog? Where's so-and-so? Have a plan in that fire safety plan where you meet up in a certain location. It doesn't have to be around the house because the house may be burning. But say up the street by the flagpole, up the street by the rec center, up, somewhere where we all are going to meet till we make sure everyone got out that house. And then that way you take a physical count of each person. Okay, everybody's here. Because people have run back into a burning structure building looking for someone, and that person is out. But you don't know it because you don't have a central gathering place. Make that plan so that you agree to meet wherever it is, and you know that each person is safety, because going back into a fire, that's not a good thing. Firemen will tell you. You see this stuff I wear on my neck? When I bend over the stove, I could feel it on my neck. In a fire, everything you wear, your rings, everything will start to get hot. It'll literally burn on you. If you're in a fire, this will burn. It will burn, and it will burn you. All that stuff is dangerous. There should always be at least two ways out. And in most apartments, it's the front door and it's the window. Well, make a designated place. You don't know in a fire. But that's why you shouldn't have locked bars on every window. You should know how to get there. Make sure there's nothing, no big furniture, no whole bunch of clothes, no nothing that's in front of those windows. Keep those windows clear, so in case you have to get out, because here's what's going to happen. Fire may destroy the electrical, so you may not be able to see. It's a dead of night. You're tripping over boxes, you're tripping over stuff, trying to get out. You can't see where everything is. That's all time. Time for you to be overcome, time for you to die. So please keep the windows. Two means, if you have a house with a front and back door, two means of egress, which means, you have a way of getting in and getting out. You should have that. And, if you have a third floor, many of in the local town, there's a third floor, and there's third floors, and many of them only have a way up. There's no fire escape outside that third floor. You have to go to a hardware store or similar store and get what is called a portable fire escape ladder. It hooks onto the window when you need it, and you climb down. Because if that entryway where you get up to the floor is on fire, you can't run through the fire. The fire was burning. There was one instance. This was in the city I was living in. The person wasn't part of, the program I was doing inspections. She was on the third floor with 3 of her children, where she lived. And what happened was there was a fire. And when the fire happened, she had to get down from the third floor. But this fire was totally engulfed into the house. And she tried to run down the stairs through the fire, and the second floor was fully engulfed. She ran through the second floor, got to the stairs, and everything in the house was burning again. It just happens that way. And she lost her life. And several of her children lost their life. If she had had a portable fire escape ladder, she might have escaped it. And I felt so bad because, again, if she was a relative, if she was someone that I did inspections for, I would have let her know. And, you can't save everyone. So please, have a fire escape plan. And here are some tips. This is long. I try to keep it under half an hour, and it probably will still be. But this is so passionate to me, and it's so heartfelt. And until I really feel it, because I have the knowledge. But when someone dies, I say, wow. Either they didn't have the knowledge or they didn't use it. And as I always say, I don't say it, begrudgingly, because it's just the truth. Some people don't watch the podcast. But this is information that they can use to save their family. So who does it hurt? never tips. Never, 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 never smoke in bed. Careless smoking is the leading cause of fire deaths in North America. That's our America. Keep all cords in good condition and do not overload electrical sockets. I've went to people's houses where they got 15 things plugged into one plug. That's a recipe for danger. Fire is a force, and that fire, that conductivity, and you get 2, 3, 4 doing conduct, that receptacle, socket, what do you call it, outlet, the little things that you plug in, the extension cords, I should know that, they get heated. And when they get heated, that could cause a fire. Never. And keep the cords in good shape. People have cords that'll run from, the kitchen to the bedroom upstairs and everything like that. And they'll be frayed. And I literally will come in and look and say, wait a minute. That's a recipe for, go buy you some cords UL. UL approved. I'm going to forget what it stands for. But, UL approved. They should be. That's a company that monitors that something is safe. And it's going to come back to me, but right now I don't want to spend time trying to remember it. Keep all cords in good condition. Do not overload electrical outlets. Do not run cords under the rug. Again, think about what I just said. Electrician is alive, not human alive, but it's a live source. It's like water. You put your hand under water, it affects the flow of the water. Electricity, if you could put your hand through, the sockets and bulbs and everything, it would either block the electricity or it would go through you and, cause you some harm. Because it is alive, so do not run electrical cords under a rug. Major cause of fire. Store your lighters, matches out of reach of children. That's a no-brainer. Children are naturally curious. They see you lighting up the cigarette, your blunt. I don't care what you light up. Ooh. Kids like that. So what they're going to do when they find your lighter? And the next thing they're going to do is and put it on something. And most things will burn. So please, store your lighters, your matches. If you smoke, please, don't leave that stuff around. I'd rather you look for it every time you needed it than to store it around your kids. Please. Clean your stove, your oven, that's another, your vents. Those are other causes. Keep flammable. Flammable are things that catch fire easy. Keep flammables away from your oven and other heating equipment. Flammables could be your curtains. Many times in the summer, people will open up their windows and the natural air that's coming will blow the curtains. And if it's near the stove and let's say the jets are on, then very, very soon that fire may latch on to that curtain and cause a fire. Gasoline. Never store gasoline in your home. Some people store it in their garages and stuff. It's still very dangerous. A garage fire could end up being a house fire. Never store that stuff. Kerosene. Do not use kerosene heaters. Do not use anything that you have to use with gasoline. Very flammable. Recycle old newspapers. Donate old clothes, etc. Newspapers, very, flammable. Those of you who live in a home, inspect and have chimneys and flue pipes, part of the chimney, clean. Again, if the chimney pipe, can't go through all this now, but if the chimney pipe, the gases and stuff that burn through your home can't get out, Let's say this is it and you can't get out. That stuff is going to stop right there and it's going to jettison. Yes, a big word, but it's a word. Jettison down to your home. So it stops here. The gases can't get out. It has to go somewhere. It can't get out. It stopped because the fuel, the chimney is dirty, so it can't get out. So it's going to come back down to your house. And if you're sleeping, you're dead. Please clean your, and it's better to get it done by a professional if you don't know what you're doing. Keep all power tools, gas mowers clean and in good condition. Clean your garage, your yard, and basements regularly. Basements are a heavy source because we store stuff down there. And, just dispose of all the rubbish and stuff that is in your basement. Those are just a few of the safety things that I recommend. But fire is no joke. Fire, again, it just kills. It's a devastating event. If you've ever been involved in a fire, again, I've come to the aftermath of fires. And just as a viewer, as a person, again, as an inspector, I had to view it, make an assessment. Did the smoke detectors go off? And that always would be my major concern, because I go there to tell you, so did the smoke detectors go off? And, I'm happy to report in my career, I've never had a resident where the smoke detectors didn't go off if they were there. Now, if the smoke detector, I have residents that, they said it was smoke detectors were down, and that was the case where the person didn't put them back up. Those kind of things. I've had it, and, literally I cringe because, that person didn't listen. Sometimes people don't listen, and I always say, it's okay not to listen, but certain things you should listen to. So please, take the time to, listen. Most fire departments have information on that, but nowadays you can Google stuff. Fire prevention, fire safety. I do not have time. I can conduct the class in this stuff. I really can. But if I did it, they would have to pay me because, again, I no longer give away time for free. And this is vital knowledge. And not a lot of people, landlords and municipal buildings, and they don't want to pay for that stuff. That's right. And again, I don't do stuff gratuitously. I try to give it to my family, friends. I do it on the podcast. Please go to your local fire department. Many of them have information, and we'll be glad to share it. To God be the glory. Protect yourself and protect your family. Protect your possessions. To God be the glory.